Hey guys, just thought I'd film a quick little point that struck my mind as relevant. But this society and this world that we live in is so drastically different internally and changed in ways that are unexpressed that it blows my mind. But I feel as if this is a message that certain people need to hear. If you have truth to speak and if you have reality to bring, you're going to be censored in this new reality. It's so flagrant in my mind, but it's probably not that obvious to the average person because it's not relevant to them. The average person doesn't have an important point to express. They are a character in this simulation of life that is designed to be so normal while the world around us, sentient people, changes drastically. Like, it is a major disservice and injustice to the world what type of truth is being suppressed, especially right here in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. If you're a person like me, you just need to get in contact with me. If you're experiencing the same type of phenomenon, we need to go ahead and just be real with it as much as we can be. We just need to remember that the powers that be are literally censoring our behavior and changing our own opinions on things that we should be able to form our own opinions on with the right information. But they just never want the right information to ever be at your disposal, because then you'll be able to make an informed assessment and opinion. And then you have your own executive function back, and they don't want that. They want to make your decisions for you and to keep you stuck in a cycle. They want people like me that are heavily motivated and charged with spiritual energy to never even meet each other. They want us to be aware that maybe we exist in a roundabout way that we don't feel comfortable talking about. But remember, I found a way to prove that we're communicating with each other. I don't care how crazy I seem. I happen to know that there are human beings on this planet that are communicating in ways that they don't want us to. Hence this synthetic telepathy that they use to not only make a mockery, but to distort reality and keep us at the edges of truth and the edges of our own sanity. So we need to go ahead and just come together and admit this particular phenomenon is happening. We are going to be among the few. We are not the majority. We are the minority that the majority can easily suppress unless we do things now to make ourselves more known and be more defiant than what we have been. We're going to have to acknowledge patterns in behavior. We're going to have to acknowledge themes in the world. We're going to have to acknowledge that it's a spiritual phenomenon that's in the background of our lives that needs to take a little bit more precedence in order to progress through this, because this is designed to be limiting and taxing and for us to go away if we're too much of a problem for them in terms of our scope of knowledge and what we know to be true about the world. We need to go ahead and be more self-aware. And whatever happens, it matters not about the outcome so much as the statement that it makes. If we make that statement and keep it moving, that's the goal. Then we can live through this better, being self-aware and not walking into traps of the literal devil on this planet Earth. Simply put, it's an otherworldly experience that's happening in my reality, and I know it's happening in many other people's ends of the world. We're all just on different timelines, waking up at different times, and the powers of the universe, the forces at play, aim to keep us apart and from ever spreading the word. What does that remind you of, everybody? I think about parallel time periods in history, and when I think about the institutions at play, you know, the Masonic Temple, the Illuminati, wow, like we're living through that time period again, you guys. I don't need to spell it out for you what that means, but we need to come together about this and just point out the obvious, because it's not obvious to them how to talk about it, but they can't deny certain truths. They just aren't speaking of it, and I wonder why that is. I just want that to be food for thought for everybody, but I hope you find a reason to motivate to continue to live. If you are like me, you need to be a scribe and write the real end of history and be on the right side of history. Let that be your motivation, since they're sapping the energy and the purpose and meaning out of this reality. Make your mark now, because it'll be understood later on. I think the world is just under a grip of control and manipulative factors that are keeping the execution of good ideas at bay and keeping inspiration from flowing. So we need to come together and reinvigorate, because all this reptilian energy in the world is sapping everybody but me. It's motivating me and making me angry enough to invoke my rights and be myself. Fuck you motherfuckers for trying to conform the world. It won't work for people like me once they awaken and they're empowered. That's what I hope happens. So spread the word, get the message out, and do what you can while you can. Later on.